Hey, this is Ryan Thomas, and in this video, I want to share with you what I believe is the one thing that my alienated dad is still afraid of to this day. Now, there's a lot of things that he could be afraid of. He went through hell, just like all alienated parents who are rejected, who are gaslit, who have lies about them told constantly. So there's a lot of things to be afraid of. But I'm sharing this from the perspective of a child who was alienated and rejected my dad, then had a reunification and a get to know you period, a let's figure this all out, let's put the missing pieces back together, let's connect the dots, and then for years and years have now moved forward and to this day have a great loving relationship. So what is that one thing that my dad is still afraid of to this day, in my opinion? And that is that my dad is afraid to ask questions. He's afraid to stick his nose into someone else's business, into my business. He is afraid to really ask the questions that show interest, that show curiosity. And it's not that he's not caring, not interested, or not curious, but I believe that because of everything that has happened in his life, both being with a partner and a family and having a spouse that everything that you said and did was picked apart, that having a relationship with a child that was destroyed and ruined, in which everything that you said or do was picked apart, used against you, and or even the things that you didn't do was used against you, that he has adopted almost this idea that, like, well, what he says is, if they want me to know, they'll tell me. If somebody wants my opinion, they'll ask. If someone wants to tell me what's going on or wants to tell me a thought process, they'll tell me. And for our relationship, sometimes that has been difficult because there is a time and a place for that, but also as the child who feels like they missed a lot of time together and didn't have that interest and didn't have that curiosity or what felt like care from that parent because of both the manipulation and lies, but also just ultimately the decision to have no contact. Well, that was years and years, a decade plus of no contact and no questions in this. And so I think it's just really interesting to point this out, that this has been a part of our growth in our relationship, in trying to understand, like, no, I actually want you to care and to show that you care. I should say that. I want you to show me that you care in these ways, even though asking questions, showing curiosity, and maybe doing something that for you feels like you're prying by, like, oh, like, tell me about that decision, or, oh, that's really interesting, tell me more about that, doesn't really happen. And so I think what it really highlights, and one of the reasons I wanted to do this video, is that a lot of times I will talk about and have talked about the long-lasting effects of parental alienation on a child and how that warps their worldview, their sense of self, their sense of relationship with parents and others around them, trust, all kinds of crap that goes on. But this is an opportunity to also talk about the long-lasting effects that happen to a parent who's alienated, a parent who has been so shell-shocked, so devolved or devoid or stripped of their worth, their authority, their influence over their child, even doing anything that comes towards the child that in the past, like touching a hot stove, oh, I paid a price for that. Oh, I paid a price for that. Ouch, that hurt. Ow, that stings. Ow, that's going to leave a mark. That happens to alienated parents all the time, right? And it's okay to look at those situations not as good or bad, but of recognizing this is an impact. This is an effect of what has been done to me, what has been done to my child. So as you're watching this video, really take to heart and think about, what has this kind of pounded out of me? What has this hammered out of me? What has this drained me of going through alienation? Things that I normally wouldn't have had to think about, emotions, behaviors, communications. where all of a sudden, right, you're not in a situation where you have a thought pop up into your head and the first thought is, oh my gosh, I want to text my child. I want to send them, I'm seeing something beautiful. I want to send them a picture. Those normal things that you would do without thinking, like on autopilot, all of a sudden you can't do, you don't do. And what does that start closing off in your mind? What does that start making you feel like I can't do those things anymore? I can't be in some ways normal or on autopilot. I either have to overthink everything, or that part of me just sort of, I don't want to say died, but it was just really pushed down, right? That curiosity, that free flow, that fun, that humor, right? That's another thing. You know, if you have depending on your type of humor, if all of a sudden your humor's been used against you, well, then all of a sudden do you start being more reserved and you don't let that out? If you're always been a hopeful, half glass full type of person, well, how do you show that positivity? How do you start embracing the idea of, hey, things are good, even though they may not always be good? Do you start going, well, yeah, I'm just adopting this idea. Things aren't going well. You start to lose yourself, lose what makes you feel, lose what makes you great, what makes you alive and fun and dynamic and really makes you who you are. And when you start thinking about the idea of reconnecting with your child, when you start thinking about, well, what would those interactions be like? What would it be like to just be able to pick up the phone, just be able to meet up for a drink or a dinner, just those normal things? It is interesting because you can go there and sort of visualize it and imagine it, but then think about sometimes what would that constriction be, that fear. Better say this, right? Walking on eggshells. Better say this, better not say this. Better keep this side of me down. Better play it cool. Better not be too happy, excited, joking. Better not ask too many questions because I know where that's gotten me in the past. You're trying to pry. You're trying to be nosy. You yourself are trying to be controlling because what happens with alienation, a lot of the alienation behaviors that the child is used to gets projected on you. When somebody else is controlling, if you dare speak up, oh, I don't like that controlling feeling. You must be controlling as well. You're trying to control me. If you have somebody who's constantly asking questions, and why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And that child gets anxiety, and then you recognize, oh my gosh, when I asked that one question, I was accused of trying to control the situation. I was accused of being nosy. So I can't do that again. So I share this with you as a way for you to just do a little check, a little gut check for yourself and recognize that some of the best parts of you, despite what's happened, your child needs the most. Your child may need your humor. Your child may need your questions. Your child may need you to show them you're actually interested in me. You're actually interested in somebody's opinion. In this other environment that I'm living in, I'm always being told what to do. I have to do this or else. I have to say or do these things or there's hell to pay. Nobody cares what I want. Nobody cares what I think. But yet, wow, I am getting genuine interest, genuine care, genuine questions. So wanted to share this really flip side of everything that I normally talk about, alienation, and share this with you. So I hope it's helpful. I hope that you can connect with something inside of yourself and it makes things even better for you. Thanks so much for watching this video. I'm Ryan Thomas, and we'll see you on another video. Hey, it's Ryan Thomas. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and it also helps to spread the word. Be sure to watch other videos from this channel and also check below this video for other resources and links to help.